Well, it's very difficult to predict the future, and the pandemic is showing us how uncertain the world is. But one thing that we know is that artificial intelligence will be the all-purpose technology of the future. So everything will be built around artificial intelligence. All the careers and all the jobs in the marketplace will be built around this technology. So if you do not if you do not choose a program that trains you into artificial intelligence, then you undergo the risk of being left behind in the job market, and your skills will not be developed enough for those top organizations who will be looking for graduates with the skills in this specific area. And that's why the program evolved from digital leadership to artificial intelligence and digital technology management, because we want to focus on this particular technology, which will be dominating the technological environment for the next decades. Well, the program combines the best of hard skills and soft skills that you need to become a top organizational leader in the field of digital management. So for example, our teaching method is based on 3 principles, and very important one. The first one is that we do not feed the students with knowledge on a spoon. We ask them to participate actively into the co-creation of knowledge with us, and that's how they internalize the knowledge in a much better way than if they were simply listening to the teachers. So they really actively participate in the co-creation of knowledge. The second principle is that we do not focus only on operational skills. We also focus on strategic thinking, and we try to elevate the level of critical thinking and the level of critical analysis, so that they can become top leaders. Because top leaders, they are mostly valuable because they provide a strategic vision to everything they do, and it's not only about operational skills. It's because students tend to focus on those skills, but they actually can be learned very easily in the marketplace. So what we really want the students to be able to is to become strategic thinkers. The third principle is that we do not evaluate the outputs of the students in their projects. We evaluate the learning path behind this. I think that failure is the mother of all successes, and we think that the school is probably the best place to fail, and this is where they should fail anyways, because that's how you learn. And Steve Jobs used to say this. He said that people focus on the successes we have, they forget that behind every success there are actually 200 or 300 times which we fail. So I think that this is the place where you should fail in order to learn, and so we evaluate not the outputs but the learning path behind those experiences, whether they be successes or failure. Well, the former version of the program called Digital Leadership was already highly successful. We were very successful at placing students even before they graduate. So they now work for top organizations like Danone, L'Oreal, IBM, and what we expect is that the new version of the program would be even stronger than the former one, and the students will have skills that would project them for the next decade, and that many top organizations will be looking for those skills. So now, what kind of positions can they access to? Any positions that's in the digital field. So it could be digital transformation, it could be chief digital officer, it could be digital marketing manager also. Anything that's related to digital, they will have a set of skills that will bring them beyond what the companies need. So I think that with this new program, with the set of skills we're going to provide them, they will be able to target top organizations in any field they want. Lyon is a fantastic place for digital environments. It has the second biggest digital ecosystem in France, with many companies, and all those companies represent for about 100,000 jobs in the digital field in Lyon. So there are many opportunities in Lyon, and Lyon is at the center of Europe. So many of our graduates go and work in Switzerland, in Italy, in Germany, or in Spain, and so some of them have stayed in Lyon. In very nice organizations. For example, SEB, which is the very famous appliance company in France, SEB Moulinex. and one of our students did an internship over there, and she was hired afterwards in the digital transformation department. So there are many opportunities in this city. It's a very powerful city, lots of people, lots of job opportunities, especially in the digital field, and that's why it makes sense to have such a campus in this beautiful city. Yeah, maybe a few details, very interesting. The first thing is that the campus is going to be a very different campus from the traditional campuses that you can see in business schools in France, for example, or in Europe, as a matter of fact. And the campus will be centered around the students and around a teaching method that's called active learning. So the students will be co-creating the knowledge with us, and they will be at the center of this strategy. The second thing maybe is that we're going to have a design lab also, and this is a lab where students will be able to ideate, concept test, create and deploy new products and services. So they will actually have a real prototype, a workable prototype in their hands in order to pitch their ideas, and this creative process will be at the heart of the teaching method in Lyon. We want the candidates to be passionate about the digital field, to be able to think outside of the box, to be innovative, to be creative. So we want anybody who is passionate about the digital field to be able to join the program. So we don't want to put any barriers to entry to the program. I actually have a great story to tell. Normally, in any part of the world, it would be much easier for students to move from an engineering background to a business background, because the consensus is that it's easier to learn business for an engineer than going the other way. So moving from a business school to an engineering school would be nearly impossible, because we are moving from a soft field to a hard field. A few years ago, we had a student called Clara, and she was, of course, one of the best students in the cohort. So once she graduated from the program, she went to work for a top organization, an organization she has always dreamed of joining. It's called Lyon. It's a very famous luxury French company. And once she finished there, she decided to go for a more technical program, and she applied to the second best engineering schools in France. It's Centrale Supélec. So it's just behind Polytechnic in the rankings of the engineering schools in France. And she applied there, and even with a business background, she was successful at this application, and she is now enrolled into the program of Centrale Supélec in a top program in digital management. And she also works now for a very famous French insurance company called Groupama in the digital transformation, and she's leading digital transformation in this company. So it means that if you work hard enough, you can actually make it anywhere, and even going against the odds, such as moving from a business school to an engineering school. So to the future candidates, it's possible to do it this way if you work hard. Thank you.